I'd like to introduce you to a brand new set at Some Odd Girl. This is Moulin Mae. Now, Moulin Mae is a new set that is part of our October release at Some Odd Girl. We wanted to have a Halloween dress-up kind of theme for October, which is always fun, but we wanted to make these sets good for year-round. So for Moulin Mae here, we have 3 fun sentiments, one being this word bubble sentiment that I think you could probably use in a lot of different ways. It says ooh la la, and then we have yes you can, because Moulin Mae here is a can dancer. If you ever seen the movie Moulin Rouge, then you kind of already have the idea. And then this one over here says you're so cha-cha charming. So these are really fun sentiments that you can use in a lot of different ways. They're also very encouraging, and this one over here could be great for a romantic card or something along those lines. She also comes with this little heart that you can use to back up any of your sentiments or to make a fun background. Next we have a coloring tutorial by the uber talented Katy Perry, and she'll show you how to use Moulin Mae and to create a watercolor look using your alcohol-based markers.
Hi everyone, Katie here today, and I'm just going to be doing a quick technique video on how to get kind of a fake watercolor effect with your alcohol-based markers. To do that, I'm going to be using just my standard, for me, Copic sketch markers and a water pen that's typically used for doing watercolor, only instead of water in it, I am using some of my Copic colorless blender. And so to do this, it's really quick. The reason why I like this better than trying to do a full-on watercolor is because I tend to be super precise with my coloring, and watercoloring by definition is not really like that at all. It's a little hard to control, and so with images like this Moulin Mae here from Some Odd Girl, it can be hard in some of these smaller areas to get in there without kind of making a mess of everything. And so this is a super easy, super quick way to kind of get a little bit of the look of watercolor, but not have to kind of mess with all of the actual watercolor and trying to get it to do what you want. So what I did was I stamped my image with my standard Memento ink, but I did it on watercolor paper. And I'm just going to take my colors that I would normally use. So here I've got E11, E00, and E000. And I'm just going to come in and very roughly put in some color here. And you can see I'm really not worrying too much at all about kind of what it is looking like. And that's going to be her glove there. I'm not being super precise with how close to the edge I'm going. I just want to kind of map in that this is where I want that color to be. And then I'm going to come in with my E00 and do the same thing and just overlap just a bit. I am not trying to do any major blending here. I'm going to let my colorless blender in the brush do a lot of that for me. So I'm just putting down really roughly, and then this is my E000. Again, the same thing. So you can see that the lines are still very, very harsh in here. And now I'm going to take my pen with my colorless blender, the brush, and I'm just going to come over the top of everything that I colored in. And part of what's making this effect happen is going to be the watercolor paper itself. And so I'm just going over the top of this really quickly with this colorless blender and letting the paper soak it up. If you want more of your highlights, you're going to go more over the places that you want white, because the colorless blender is going to move this color around and leave your darker shadowed places that same darker color. So now that I've done that once, I'm just going to come back in right over the top of this saturated paper in my darkest color, my E11. And this time as I map in these colors, the lines are already not going to be as harsh. And my E00. There, and I think I'm going to bring in a little bit of some R32 here for her cheeks. And then I'm just going to bring my colorless blender in again. Kind of smooth over those areas again. Let the watercolor paper soak up this colorless blender. I'm going to take my E000. Kind of come over these places that may have gotten too dark or too light, and put in a little bit more. There. Now I'm going to bring my BV31, which is my shading color. Put some of that in. Then my E11 again. Give that again more of a skin tone back to it. If you want, you can come in with your E00 again. Put over the top of those. And then come in with your colorless blender and your brush. And this time I'm really hitting those more highlighted spots. And letting the paper do a lot of that work for me. Now, because of the watercolor paper picking up this colorless blender and kind of pushing the inks around, you're going to see where it starts to come over the lines here the way a normal watercolor would, but it's super easy. You just go back around the edges with your brush and just kind of brush that ink back to where you want it. And it is as easy as that. So super quick, not as much fighting with your color over where you want it to go and where you don't want it to go. But you get more of the watercolor effect that you would if you were actually using paints. So that's just a little technique there that you should be able to do with any alcohol-based markers. So I hope that this was a fun little video and gave you some ideas of what you can do. This is one of the new Some Odd Girl Images Moulin Mae. So make sure that you go and check out the shop and pick her up for yourself. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.